It's Friday, and you know what that means. I am late for this week's live event, of course. Coming out on Wednesday of this week is the Italian car road trip, valid until the 18th of December. Come this way to experience La Dolce Vita. Of course, the reward, the Italian Cars road trip sticker. It is what it is, guys. Of course, with all the hype round this week about the launch of Season 2 and Ibiza, I am late on posting out the Italian car road trip. But let's take a look at it. Live event, race number 1, 2.8 mile sprint. 100% asphalt, cloudy, a Barth Lancia Delta Integrale max RP of 400. It's going to be good to jump back behind the wheel of our Abarth 500. Move over to live event race number 2, and this one piques my interest. A 4.5 mile circuit, 2 lap, 100% asphalt, nighttime race. Alfa Romeo or Lancia with a max RP of 600. Giving us the opportunity perhaps to jump into the 4C, of course. The new Selena edition is there. Haven't purchased that one yet. Maybe do something about that for race number 2. And then lastly, live event race number 3, 4.9 mile domination. Once again, 100% asphalt clear. And that's for Lamborghini and Maserati with a max RP of 1,000. We know what we're probably going to jump into there. We can jump into a Ferrari, but it's probably obvious what I'm going to use for live event race number 3. But what road trip would be incomplete without jumping into a Ferrari? What Italian road trip would be incomplete without jumping into a Ferrari behind the wheel of the 488 Pista to start us off with? So of course, Season 2 is now here. We do have Ibiza. As of recording and as this video will be live, I still haven't done a single race on Ibiza. I've spent a lot of time doing the map discovery, all of the collectibles and such. More content will come out next week and it will all be around Ibiza. But first of all, we'll head on over here to live event race number 1, and we will get behind the wheel once again of our Abarth 500. I spent a little bit of time with this one, managing to put together a bit of a tune. The only video I kind of done with the Abarth so far, it suffered so badly with Understeer. So now we've got a bit of a tune together with this one. It is reasonable. It's not kind of acceleration based. We can see we are getting out dragged off the line by another 2 500s, but as we come through that first turn, those guys have went wide. The handling tune that we have put together here coming up trumps for the first tight enough corner realistically, but we can punch it down the straight here, down into that roundabout section. And I'm not going to overcommit with this one. I don't have the trust in the 500 for its grip. Staying high, up in second gear, back into third, and we can cheat a little bit here, guys. Cut through the little shelter, take the right-hander, and we can get ourselves nice and clear of the rest of the pack. Round this left-hander, trying to fully commit, but we can see the bumps in the ground unsettling the 500. As we come back down, once again, another fast left-hander here. Can we fully commit? We do fully commit, guys. We don't lift for that left-hander. This is a little tricky one here. We want to miss both the wall on the right and the left. We do a fantastic job this time out. Heavy braking zone. I perhaps brake a little bit too early and get a bit caught up with the bicycles on the right hand corner just there. A lot of wheel spin coming out of that one, but we get traction once again. Tricky little left-hander here. We don't want to outbrake ourselves as we will go wide. Do tap the handbrake just a little bit there to get the back end of the 500 round, and we can now push up, get the foot down, and another tricky little left-hander here. Once again, braking a bit too aggressively and taking a bit of a curb, losing our momentum. The AI will start most likely to catch back up with us. But as we come down this little straight here, another one that will catch us out under braking. It feels like we're braking too early, but as we can see, we are still suffering a little bit with understeer as we come round that big left-hander, and another tight left-hander here. We want to try and miss those railings, a little bit of handbrake to get the back end of the 500 round, but we can now push this one and look to complete out lap number 1, round the left-hander, take a bit of curve, the car getting a little bit unsettled there, but all is fine. This is actually a sprint, it's not a lap race. We're back up onto the freeway, 10% left of this one. It is just freeway, it is foot to the floor to see what kind of time we can complete this this sprint out here in the 500. I was thinking this was a lap race, it certainly is not. We do manage though to take out a first place in the first race for today. Now, for the second race, what I kind of spoke about a little earlier, guys, it's obviously Lancia versus Alfa Romeo, and it gives us the option to perhaps jump into some of the new cars, of course, with the Celine editions or the Selenite. I am going to constantly call them Celine, guys, but the likes of the new 4C and stuff, I want to jump into those cars. They look fantastic. The 4C historically is a fantastic Alfa Romeo, and I kind of go cheap this time out. I cop out of it, guys. I do buy a standard 2013 edition 4C. We'll touch on this one a little bit later because I have made a big mistake with this one. But I've bought a standard 2013 Alfa Romeo 4C. I have quickly went away, put some modification, it built a little bit of a tune, and we're gonna use the 2013 hardtop Alfa Romeo 4C for today's second race. There is some problems with this car. We're going to talk about it, guys. I have never driven a rear-wheel drive car with so much understeer. Now, I don't know if the Celine edition of the 4C or the newer versions and the Spider version of it don't have as much understeer. But this car, without slick tyres, does not turn. So I've had to build this tune specifically with slick tyres for this race. I did genuinely struggle with live event race number 2 until I built this with slick tyres. I wanted more power than grip. Not the way to go. With the slick tyres though, we can launch off the line quickly through first gear into second, and round this first right-hander we experience the first part of how much understeer this car has. We can see it just does not want to grab itself on the front end to get around that big right-hand corner, and that's going to be a constant throughout this race. First left-hander here, the brakes are as sharp as you like on this car. Fantastic braking on it. Cut this corner off just a little bit to try and separate ourselves from the AI pack. As we start to come uphill here, another hairpin right that we kind of get crossed over with there. I feel like we could have been a little bit quicker, but we have got a little bit of a gap to the AI behind us. Now, I do want to quickly touch on the AI as well. Of course, it has now been revamped, and I do notice already a difference with the AI level. We can already see from the top left-hand corner on the leaderboard, it no longer displays what level of difficulty the AI is currently sat at. It is now a mystery almost, but I notice a considerable difference so far with these 3 races today especially, that the AI is already a lot better. You guys can let me know if you've noticed this one yet either. Back to the 4C though here, we can see round this big sweeping right-hander, it is suffering so badly with understeer. I have tried my hardest to balance out the car. I think I've done a reasonable job so far, but under heavy load, this thing just does not turn. Round some of the slower corners it's alright. Once again we suffer with a lot of understeer just here. We have to lift, tap on the brakes to try and correct the car around a little bit. So perhaps it's just specific to the 2013 variant of the 4C. Fingers crossed that Celine edition is a lot better. But the front end of this car is not well balanced whatsoever. It might just be me, you guys might be handling the 4C alright, but we do cross out here into lap number 2. Once again around that little tricky left-hander, don't do the best of jobs, but we can now cut across this right-hander. We already cleared those railings on lap number 1, and we can progress forward, uphill into the right hand hairpin once again. We try to carry a little bit more speed here, and as we do we can see that the back end of the 4C does step out just a little bit, but we managed to carry a little bit more speed that time around. Back over to the freeway section, we can see once again a little bit of understeer. We are suffering just a little bit there, but we managed to get back on the power, and we can start to move forward and finish off lap number 2 here. Tapping on the brakes to try and get the front end of the car correcting itself round as we do come downhill back onto the freeway section, giving ourselves plenty of space on the right hand side, as when we come back off of this one again, that understeer comes back into play. I don't want to be too tight with that right hander. So as we do come uphill round this big sweeping right hander, we can see just how much this is veering to the left hand side, understeering more than you would ever imagine. Once again suffering just there, but we're managing alright. We're not hitting walls, we're not losing all too much time. 5-second lead from the rest of the pack, and we can just shoot forward here. We can box this one off and win race number 2 with a time of 3:01. Now that time of 3:01 was alright, but not as good as one of our constant viewers here, Digital Diesel, sitting up there in second place in the Celine edition 4C. Do let us know in the comments, Digital Diesel, how well that car has been. I am most definitely going to be buying that one. But one little feather in the cap so far, I did have a look through the leaderboard. We of course are in the 4C Coupe, the 2013 version, and we have managed to get the highest place 2013 edition. There's a couple of 2015 Spiders above us, but I have got the fastest time, I believe. I'm trying to claw back something from this episode. I have got the fastest time there in the 2013 Alfa Romeo 4C Coupe. Over to race number 3, and the brightest race you can imagine. Look how fluoro yellow the Aventador and the Countach. Is that a Countach? Is that a Centenario? I think it's a Centenario R. Unbelievably bright. But of course we're going to jump into the Huracan here with our max handling tune that we've got applied to this one. Fully commit to that jump, not losing out too much time. As we come downhill, we want to try and keep to the right hand side so we can cut back across this left hander, carry as much speed as we can as we go through this flowing right hander. And we get a little bit unsettled here. We can see the back end just stepping out a little bit, not maximising the grip that this one has. Now we come up into this little tricky section, right hander straight into a left hander. I do take out the railings so that I don't go right to the right hand side like I almost did there, into the grass and lose all momentum. But we can now get the foot to the floor, flow around these big right handers, left hander up ahead. We want to try and cut back across, stay right here so we're on the optimal line for the next corners ahead. Foot flat down, fully committing to this big left hander, the back end trying to step out on us. We can see just how twitchy it is, but we're managing pretty well so far. Coming up, we have got hairpin right, where most likely we're going to try and cut across the track here, once again to optimise the future corners that are coming up, and we do get to the left hand side. Punch this one all the way through. It's a domination race, so we know we're already doing good, guys. First through the gates through 50%. At this point we do lock up the brakes and we do cut across that central res, but all things are good because we want to be on this right hand side for the freeway section. This next 50% is essentially foot flat to the floor and get to the line as quick as we possibly can. As we shoot through that gate with an 8.6 second lead for the rest of the pack, we know we're almost home and dry or straight, ready for the win. Don't know what I was trying to say there. But there's one crucial corner coming up here. As we flow through this left-hander, there's a big right-hander coming up, guys, and I do lift. I don't fully commit. I've tried it a couple of times and the back end just constantly steps out on that little dip to the right-hand side into that left-hander. I do go cautious and lift, but foot is back to the floor and this is me to the line. I do believe we don't lift again. We're fully committed. We've got a 12.5 second lead. We punch this one all the way home, guys, and we do take out the win for race number 3, winning that domination and winning live event race number 3 and the Italian car road trip. But of course, completing live event race number 3, we do get our Italian car road trip sticker. Think of it what it is, guys. It's a sticker. We know all about them so far. But another fantastic collection of races, I do believe, that has been put together from the team with all the hype that is around about the game right now. Everybody is over in Ibiza, discovering the new map, all of the new races, all of the new clan battles that are there. Don't take our attention away from Hong Kong Island with the live events that are dropping. I do still feel that they are the best thing in game, especially on the Hong Kong Island map. Still to discover everything else over in Ibiza, but absolutely thrilled that we still have more updates with the live event races over in Hong Kong Island. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys have already done this. If you haven't, head on over and do the Italian car road trip. If you have already done it, please do let me know what cars you chose for race number 1, race number 2 and race number 3. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Stay tuned for more updates on Test Drive Unlimited. Solar Crown.